What's up, guys? It's MTG Matt for you, and today I have some more spoilers, or actually leaks for you, so nothing is confirmed here. But from my experience, leaks, especially this close to the actual spoiler season, tend to be very accurate. And for those of you who don't know, Wizards of the Coast has postponed the reveal stream to tomorrow, so instead of on June 4th, it's going to be tomorrow on June 5th. At 7 a.m. Pacific time, I think. And so the reveal stream got postponed, but I stumbled across some leaks, which are probably pretty accurate. So let's look into them. Quite exciting leads, a lot of mythic rares here, and some other stuffs too. So let's see what we can get here. Like, as you see, I didn't prepare any presentation. We just go through these cards one by one and just, see what they're up to. So what I'm going to do is actually open a separate browser window and then zoom in a bit. So yeah, I think you can read this pretty well. So first off, we got a legendary creature for you commander players out there. It's Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. It's a 3-mana vampire cleric in black, which says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Okay. And then for 5 mana, it has an activate ability which says creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. And for some reason, some parts of this card are blurred out, so we can actually see the stats. For 3 mana, I know maybe it's a 2/2 or something. We're going to see, right? But I think this card is pretty powerful. Like, you obviously want it for the passive effect. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. I think this goes well into like an Oars of Sacrifice deck, where you gain life and creatures die, and then your opponent loses that much life, and it can go really, really crazy. Or maybe M21 is going to show some support for Vampire Tribal. We still have the 3-mana Saurian Vampire Planeswalker in the in Standard from M20, and maybe if some good vampires, if some more good vampires are going to be seen in M21, then this legendary creature might certainly be an excellent addition. Because the vampires often have lifelink, right? And this card actually says on it you can give all your creatures lifelink. So that could be pretty powerful. Also goes very well with the Saurian Planeswalker for More of the Spark, which gives all your creatures lifelink passively on your turn. So I really like this card. I think it's very powerful, the effect itself. And what comes to my mind is like Helios Intervention. Right, you can pay X and then you gain double X life. And in combo with this card, Helios Intervention could actually be like a crazy damage spell. Imagine you just pay, let's say, X equals 3, so in total 4 mana, you damage your opponent for 6. Can be a very nice finisher. And then Helios Intervention has this flexibility of also being able to destroy artifacts and enchantments. So this might be something that could be really powerful. That's what just comes to my mind spontaneously. Really like this card. I think it's powerful. So good stuff right here. Next up, Mark Rosewater had announced in his Twitter post about M21 that there's going to be a new Planeswalker. And it's probably Mr. Basri Cat. It's a 3-mana, 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker in white for 1 generic and 2 white mana. And the text here is pretty blurry, actually. Probably can really read it. I try to zoom in even more. I just read it out for you. So it has 3 loyalty abilities. The +1 loyalty ability says, put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Actually, let me scroll down a bit so you can actually read the abilities right here. Then we've got the -2 saying, whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. And then the -60 ultimate, it's an emblem. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So a lot of stuff going on here. So let's look at these loyalty abilities one by one. The +1, you get a 1/1 counter and can make a creature indestructible. The indestructible part is nice, but all in all, I think the +1 is rather weak. If you play this on turn 3, you get a free loyalty Planeswalker. You can make one of your creatures indestructible, but I mean, this can be nice. Maybe like, I don't know, you put this into a Selesnya deck and then you make your if you call Amara, like the 2-mana legendary creature that creates soldiers when she's attacking, you make her indestructible. But all in all, I think the +1 isn't that great. It's just not that impactful because I think you want to play this Planeswalker in a aggressive mono white deck, right? Or in a aggressive Selesnya deck. And then like putting a 1/1 counter on one creature, just not very powerful. So +1, not really that great. The -2 though, whenever one or more non-turn creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. I think that can be pretty good actually. Imagine you play this in mono white. On turn 1, you play a Hazda Marshal, right? Then on turn 2, you play your Raise the Alarm. You have 3 creatures on board. Turn 3, you play the Berserk Cat. Activate the -2, and then you attack with all your 3 soldiers. Your Hazda Marshal triggers, you get another soldier, and then you get 3 soldiers from this one. And you have a very wide board of 7 creatures. I think this can be pretty good. It's probably relies a lot on coming down early. Then again, I could see, I don't know, like a soldier tribal deck. I've actually built a soldier mono white tribal deck in the past with Icon of Ancestry as an anthem effect. And it's actually pretty easy to build because most soldiers are humans, so you have some synergies there as well. Because if those soldiers come in the battlefield and they somehow get buffed, right, through anthem effects or, I don't know, other effects, I think the -2 is pretty cool actually. I really like it. And then a -6, the emblem. Obviously, rather hard to get there, right? Let's say you play this on turn 3, you +1 Berserk Cat, although you probably don't want to do it, but let's say you +1 him. It's a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, and then it takes quite some time till you get to the -6. You could play the Spirit, the less you proliferate when deals combat damage to player. Just comes to my mind. So, nice thing about the emblem, you create a 1/1 soldier each turn passively. You get it no matter what. That's very good, I think, especially if you're against like a control deck. And then it says, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Now, here's the thing. I think, so the matchups where the emblem is going to be relevant and where it may be realistic to get the emblem off is maybe in a control matchup, right? I know what you're thinking, that's not realistic, but let's just say in games that go longer, it might be realistic to get this emblem off. Well, if you do get the emblem off and the game goes long, it means the game goes long because you obviously have no white board. So then this emblem basically says create a 2/2 passive each turn, which is good, right? But they put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control every turn. It's very powerful, but it's very reliant on you actually having a white board. So the emblem is pretty cool. I'm just not so sure if it's that relevant. Then again, if you, let's say, you have the Berserk Cat emblem and then you have your Elspeth, which can come back all the time, right, from the graveyard. Your Elspeth can create 2 soldiers every turn. and then you get an additional one, and basically you get 3 tutus every turn, which is very powerful. So let's wrap this up, this card. I think the +1 is pretty bad. The -2 is pretty cool in an aggressive mono white deck. And then the emblem is also just cool. If you happen to get there, it's really helpful against control matchups. So all in all, I really like this card. I think it's a cool 3-mana Planeswalker. And yeah, just good stuff. Next up, we've just got a comment here. Basri's Acolyte. Cat Cleric, 4 mana, 2/3. When you see my video about spoilers and so on, we've got the hint that maybe Cat Tribal might be significant because of the dog commander that's coming out, but we'll see. So 4 mana, 2/3, Cat Cleric with lifelink, and when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Probably a pretty good card in draft. In Constructed, it won't see play. Next up, we've got Demonic Embrace. A 3-mana enchantment aura in black. You enchant creature, and the enchanted creature gets +3/+1, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types. And you may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. I think if you can get lifelink on your creatures reliably, either through effects or the creature itself just has lifelink, then this card is pretty good because it makes the creature flying, so it's very likely that your creature can actually deal damage to your opponent. And if it has lifelink, you get the paying 3 life thing back. And I actually think that's the reason the card got designed this way. Your creature gets +3 attack. If it has lifelink, you get your 3 life back. You still have to discard a card, but maybe you have a deck where you actually want to discard cards. So I always really like graveyard synergy cards where you can play cards from your graveyard, get recurring value, right? And I'm thinking about, is this good in like a black aggro deck? You always have something coming from the graveyard and your creatures get flying. Maybe it's good. I think this is just a solid card. It could find its way into some decks. And it's just good. That's all I can say about that. And then we've got 3 mythics, which are all reprints, as to my knowledge. We've got Baneslayer Angel. 5 mana, 5/5 Angel in white. It's got flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and from dragons. So we basically had a very similar creature from Dominaria, right? Which was, what was her name? I forgot the name, but it was almost the same creature. It also had flying, first strike, lifelink, and then had a commander effect for angels. Very powerful card. This card is powerful too, just as a vanilla creature. The protection from demons and dragons can occasionally be relevant, but most of the time it won't be relevant. And then it's basically a 5 mana 5 flying first strike lifelink. But I want to note here, it is not a legendary creature, so you can have multiple of these on the board, which is really cool, I think. And yeah, it's just a very powerful vanilla creature, and if you just put this out on the board, it can win you games on its own, even if you put this into an Esper control deck as a one-off, and put it on the battlefield. It's got first strike, flying, and lifelink. It's really, really powerful, just a good solid card, but not deck defining in any way. Then, oh god, this blurry picture. We got Eugene the Spirit Dragon. It's a very well-known reprint. I just read out the loyalty build here. It's obviously very powerful. It costs 8. It's a Planeswalker that costs 8 colors mana, start with 7 loyalty. You can +2, and this Eugene the Spirit Dragon deals 3 damage to any target? Really? Is it any target? I thought it was to target creature or player. Okay. Then minus X. Exile each permanent with convert mana cost X or less. This one or more colors. Very, very, very powerful. Most of the time, all of the permanents of your opponent are going to be colored. And then you exile them, which is a lot better than destroying them. Very powerful. And then minus 10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. All in all, amazingly good, powerful Planeswalker. Goes into control decks, everything. Very, very powerful. Nothing more to say about that. And then the final card here. It's Massacreworm. And I think some Commander players might be happy about this card, but here we're talking constructed. Massacreworm, it's a 6 mana, 6/5 worm in black, which says when Massacreworm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponent's control get -2/-2 until end of turn, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. Very powerful effect. It's a one-sided board wipe, and then if the Massacreworm happens to kill a lot of creatures opponent, that opponent loses a lot of life. It's a very good card. Just from looking at it, I'm not so sure in what kind of deck this would go. If you think about like Esper Control, the black might be a hard requirement. I think maybe this can go into a Golgari deck. Mono black deck, maybe. It's hard to tell from my side. You could even try to flicker this with like Fasa or something. Just my opinion, very good, solid, powerful card. It doesn't enable unique deck building or anything. And I'm not so sure yet in what kind of deck this would go. Maybe it's like a finisher, just in an aggro deck, which is cool. It's just a good, solid card. And yeah, that's all I have to say about these leaks. We're going to see whether they're going to be confirmed. All in all, we've got some pretty powerful reprints. Baneslayer Angel, solid vanilla. Right, Baneslayer Angel, Eugene, and Massacreworm are just very good, solid cards, right? Especially Eugene, obviously. And then I really find the new Planeswalker very interesting. I think Veto is very powerful. And Demonic Embrace has some potential, I think. Don't know if it's going to see play, but it's cool. That's all I want to say about this. So, what do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed the spoilers. And I see you guys soon.